Are you interested to discover the meanings, origin and usage behind the English idioms on flowers that you may have come across back in the school days? Hi friends, this is Sagarika from Step Up English bringing you a video on idioms on the topic flowers. Now before we get started with this video, I would like to make an earnest request to the viewers to subscribe to my channel and hit the bell icon for future notification in order to discover more idioms on different themes and cherry-picked topics. A bed of roses. Let's look at the meaning of this idiomatic expression, a bed of roses. Something that is easy or pleasant, comfortable or luxurious position. Now, before we understand the usage of this idiomatic phrase, let's look at an explanation of this idiom. This is an old expression originated in England. It appeared in the poem called The Passionate Shepherd to His Love, written by Christopher Marlowe, and it was published in 1599 after the demise of the author. Now let's look at the example. Success comes with a lot of difficulty. It surely is not a bed of roses. Wake up early and work hard towards your goal. The next idiomatic phrase is as fresh as a daisy. Let's look at the meaning of this idiomatic phrase. Energetic, youthful, healthy, well-rested. Let's look at the explanation of this expression before we can look at an example. This phrase originated in the late 1700s and it is a simile. Now you must be wondering what a simile is. It is a figure of speech that compares two different things. A simile in a phrase begins with the words like and as. In here, a comparison is being made between the daisy and an activity that refreshes a person. Therefore, the idiomatic phrase is an allusion to the flower daisy, the petals of which folds at night and open in the morning. When the idiomatic phrase is used in a conversation, in a situation where we compare two things, a person looking refreshed and energetic, and the cause of which is a certain activity. So if someone is as fresh as a daisy, it means the person is full of energy and doesn't look tired at all, because the person may have been involved in a particular activity, like for example, well rested, or did an intense workout, or something or some sort of an activity that made the person feel refreshed and energetic. Now let's look at an example. Nilima Shah at 61 is always as fresh as a daisy. Her secret, regular exercise and meditation. The next idiomatic phrase is a late bloomer. Let's look at the meaning of this expression. Someone who is slower than his or her peers to develop in a particular field. Let's look at an example for this idiomatic expression. Ankit is a late bloomer. He takes quite a bit of a time to learn something new. The next idiomatic phrase is primrose path. Now let's look at the meaning of this idiomatic phrase. A life of pleasure and leisure that results in detrimental ending. Let's look at the explanation of this expression. This idiomatic phrase was coined by William Shakespeare and used in his play Hamlet in 1602. This phrase is an allusion or a hint referring to a path which is strewn with flowers. The reference to the idiom is seen in the dialogue delivered by Ophelia, one of the characters in Hamlet, who was rejected, lover of Hamlet and the daughter of Polonius, who in a particular scene warns her brother to follow the difficult and arduous path to righteousness that will lead to heaven instead of taking the easy path of sin. When using this phrase, we would usually use it as leading someone down the primrose path. In simple words, pursuit of pleasure or earthly delights that come to a disastrous end. Let us look at an example of this idiomatic phrase. After winning the prize money, Sally found herself surrounded by people who tried to lead her to the primrose path for their benefit. Pushing up the daisies is the next idiomatic expression. Let's look at an example of this expression. Let's look at the meaning of this idiomatic expression. It means dead and buried. Be dead and buried, as in there is a cemetery full of heroes pushing up daisies. This slangy expression, alluding to flowers growing over a grave, was first recorded about 1918 in one of Wilfred Owen's poems about World War I. Now that we have looked at the explanation behind this expression, let's look at an example. Tom's habit of excessive drinking will soon push up the daisies at an early years of his life. To nip something in the bud is the next idiomatic expression. Let's have a look at its meaning. To deal with a problem when it is small, before it can grow into something serious or dangerous. This phrase refers to the horticultural practice of pinching out plant buds to prevent the development of shoots or flowers. Nip, in this sense, was used figuratively in the late 16th century and nip in the bud in the early 17th century. Now that we have looked at the explanation of this expression, let's look at an example. The union leader is conspiring against the CEO. Nip his conspiracy in the bud before it gets too late, suggested the Vice President. To come out smelling roses is the next English idiomatic phrase. Let's look at the meaning of this phrase. Emerge from a difficult situation with one's reputation intact. The origin of this idiomatic phrase is not known. However, let us look at its usage to better understand the idiom. Lily came out smelling of roses after years of battle in the court with her former employer. The next English idiomatic phrase is wallflower. Let's have a look at the meaning of this expression. Shy person, people or organizations that are sidelined from activities. Now let's elaborate on this idiom. A wallflower is a type of plant native to Europe, but the word has also come into use as an idiom. An idiom is a figure of speech, that is a word, group of words or phrase that has a figurative meaning that is not easily deduced from its literal definition. A wallflower is a person who remains outside the festivities of a party. Wallflower is sometimes applied to people or organizations left on the sidelines of any activity. The idiom wallflower is derived from the plant, the wallflower, which grows by clinging to walls or rocks. The idea is that the person in question is clinging to the wall rather than taking part in the activity. Now let's look at an example of this idiomatic phrase. Ria is always treated as a wallflower by her superior. She's never given the chance to participate in activities that can help to boost her confidence. This is the end of the video, and I hope my viewers have enjoyed watching and learning the idioms that they may have come across back in school. So please do like and subscribe to my channel, and do not forget to hit the bell icon for future notification. Thank you so much for your time, and have a nice day ahead.